Mitram and Bandhuvam, welcome to South Asia Maps Education Channel. This is your presenter Dr. J. Reddy. We are continuing part 12 of RayalaSeema region, that is Ceded district region, also called Datta Mandalam, that is in Andhra Pradesh, in Deccan, South India of Bharat. Previously, we have identified 23 physiographic regions. These are geographic regions, mountains and basins, the rivers, gorges, and so on. The point is, when we are looking at RayalaSeema region or any region, understanding and of having a deeper understanding of this, how the land looks like, will give you a deeper understanding how the political, social, economic, historical events are molded that land. So, I have broadly covered all of them in the part 5. Here in part 12, we are looking at a particular region called RAJAMPETA Basin, RAJAMPETA Valley, named after a bigger town here. On one side we have Velikonda ranges, other side we have Palakonda ranges. Remember, P.V. Narasimha Rao was from Deccan, Telangana, was the Prime Minister of Bharat around about 1991 to 96 or so. P.V. Palakonda on this, Velikonda on that. Between them is the RAJAMPETA Basin. That is the part 7, the RAJAMPETA Basin. And we'll cover the RAJAMPETA Basin, Kadapa Basin, Nandyal Valley, which is a continuation essentially, eventually. How? Before that, Mitram and Bandhuvam, this is our fascinating RayalaSeema regions, the land of Vijayanagara emperors, the Rajarsi Krishnadevaraya, who passed away around about 1529 or 30, around about 35 years before the famous Talikota battle in near Talikota, Rakkasi, Tangadgi in the Karnataka Maidan, north of Krishna river on the Don River Valley. We have covered a lot of these other parts. Today we are looking at RAJAMPETA Basin, RAJAMPETA Valley, RAJAMPETA River Basin. If you are new to my presentations and channel, I have spent a lot of years, more than 4 decades, intensely studying the land. Is my passion, and I have posted a lot of meticulously made videos. And if you are a seeker of knowledge or preparing for any public service commission examinations or just want to know about various aspects of Indian history, culture, geography, heritage, human ecology, which I have put all these things together to look at the global perspective of humans' interaction with the abiotic, biotic things. All these immaculately made presentations are posted for you at South Asia Maps J. Reddy. I already have 410 or so as of July 2023. I have partitioned them into 30 plus playlists, and you can pick and choose the one that meets your interest. What are the region we are talking about? This is the political division. It doesn't give that much. Geographical, physiographical aspects will give much more. That's what we are talking about. Always remember the landmarks. Channapatnam and Pulicat Lake, Ganga Sagar, this is the low-lying region. This is the RayalaSeema, once ruled by the royals, kings, emperors of Vijayanagara Empire. That is Saluvas, Tuluvas, Sangamas, Saluvas, Tuluvas, Araya videos. Always 4 districts are identified with RayalaSeema, Telugu speaking districts: Kurnool, Kadapa, Chittoor, Anantapur. Historically, Bellary, the birthplace of Vijayanagara empire born at Hampi, Vijayanagaram on the banks of sacred Tungabhadra river and other overlapping regions. What part we are talking about? We are talking about Rajampeta Valley. This is the region. We are talking about this, the politically Kodu, Rajampeta, not really Siddhavatam, but some parts of Kadapa, very rare, not exactly, and Chandragiri, Renugunta. So this area, this is the Velikonda, this is the Palakonda. Exactly, the boundary means that's the Velikonda boundary. The mountain ranges used to be boundary of Tipu Sultan's usurped the Vadayari kingdom, later given to Nizam, later given to East India Company Bahadur, added to Madras Presidency. In 1800, by the Treaty of Secession, Velikonda range, Palakonda range, between this is the Rajampeta Valley. Northern part we can say more or less Penna river, southern part Chandragiri Basin, that is Renigunta, you can say Tirupati town, Renigunta town. Northernmost part you can say Kadapa town, almost, or Bakrapeta region. That is the part we are talking about today. And this is the Rajampeta region. See, how do you find the boundaries? If you overall remember, it's very easy. This is the RayalaSeema upland regions. 9 is the Eramalas, 12 is the RayalaSeema peneplain, 11 is RayalaSeema plateau. So this is the RayalaSeema upland. 6 is Palakonda, 2 is Velikonda. So 7 is Rajampeta Valley, Basin region. And east side is Velikonda, of course west side is Palakonda. Southernmost part is Chandragiri Basin. Northernmost is outskirts of Kadapa Basin. It also touches the Sagileru Valley, that is 23. Continues to Srisalem Plateau, Parnad region, Gundlakamari, eventually. That's not that important. So, northern part we can say Puttampalli or Kadapa Pass. Southern part is Renigunta Pass. These are very important passes or gap towns, villages, where the magnificent railway line finished 1871 from Channapatnam to Bombay in Salsette Island on Sindhu Sagar was built, taken advantage of Rajampeta Basin, Rajampeta Valley. So, the basin itself has two important local rivers. Even the big river is Mandavya river joins the Cheyeru river at Bodukuntapalli in the basin, in the Palakonda ranges actually. Bahuda river, Punch river join near Rayavaram, cut through the Palakondas, enter into the basin. Basin valley itself is two small, many rivers. The important of them are Pullang Vagu, Gunjana Vagu. They join, merge with Cheyeru river. And we'll see them. So, this is the Velikonda, Velikondas, Palakondas. This is the valley. This is the Cheyeru river. You can see the Cheyeru river. We'll see the fascinating land so that you will appreciate how the land looks. Excuse me. Why it's a valley or basin, you can see. I have pointed out Renugunda Tirupati is around about 100 meters. Other end of the basin, right? If you highlight that, it will see 110 meters. So that is mean sea level. That is the Renugunta area. Other side, you can see the Kadapa town, around about 135, 110. Let's go and look at the basin other part. Is 112. So there are some sprinkling of mountains here, but it's essentially basin. This side is nearly 285. Why this is the basin means, you look this Palakonda ranges, see how much height it is. around about 900 meters. Even peaks may be sometimes even higher, 700. So one side here you see before the Mandavya river, this is 700. So you have around about 100, 150 basin. You overlook on other side, say 7, 8, 900 meters. You look the other side of Velikonda, you almost have the same amounts, 6, 7, 800. Some peaks may be even around about 1000 meters. So that is the basin. So that is the basin, and this is the basin we are talking about. One side you have a Vijayanagara junction. You see the Vijayanagara junction. One side the railway line goes to Tirupati and Pakala. Other side goes to Venkatagiri, Gudur and Nellore. Other side goes to Puttur, Nagari and Tirutani and Arkonam and so on. So this is the basin. The railway line has taken advantage of this basin. Because of microclimate, fruits are grown, and during the British time, they built a agriculture research station called RAJAMPETA Fruit Research Station or Kodur Research Station in this area. You can see Kodur here. Then RAJAMPETA. This is the Cheyeru river here. The Cheyeru river. And this is the Mandavya river. This is the Cheyeru here. Cheyeru, Mandavya, this should be Nandaluru here. And Mangampeta, Bakrapeta, Puttampalli here. And of course this is the Kadapa. We are looking at the height in feet here. This is the Kuvala Cheruvu Pass. This is the Palakonda ranges. And this is the Talikota Basin. This is the Vempalli Gandi Gorge. This is the Papagni river. Excuse me. So there are two other small Ganjanam, Vagu and so on in this area. So you can see the other side of the Kadapa district I have pointed here. Koduru and Pullampeta, Rajampeta railway line crosses to Nandaluru, goes to Mangampet. Vantimetta, the famous Rama's temple is built here during the Vijayanagara emperor's time. That is a very historical site. Other end of this basin we can say Bakrapeta, the basin exists, or we can say Pullampalli, or even you can say Kadapa. Broadly, does not matter what point you call this area. Kadapa is the one side end point, or Bakrapeta, Puttampalli. Other side end point is the Vijayanagara. One side is the Palakonda. Other side is the Velikonda. PV Narasimha Rao, remember. Again you can see in this falling rains the beautiful this map. You can always start with Pulicat Lake. Remember, these are the red ones are the railway tracks. So this is the junction. That means this should be the Vijayanagara junction. And other way to remember is your Vijayanagara junction there. This is the Guntakal junction. This is the Hospeta Dam, means that's the Bellary. This is the hill, Sandur Hills. This is the Rayadurgam. That's not that important now. So this is the Somasila and Penna. See, this is the basin. This is the Kadapa town and Kadapa town. If you expand that, you can see this the Somasila reservoir, the Cheyeru, this is the Punchu river, this is the Bahuda river, joins at Sundupalli or Rayavaram, cuts through the Palakondas and goes to the Nandaluru, all these areas. Mandavya river basin, this is the Talikota joins here. We have looked in other place. So this is the Kadapa, this is the Bakrapeta, this is the Nandaluru. You can see Rajampeta and so on. This is the Chandragiri, this is the Vijayanagara, this is the Tirupati. And that is the, I have looked at presented, made, you can look at the railways playlist. You can see the British took advantage of this fascinating railway line, Madras to Bombay, 1871. Remember 1817, that was built. Sepoy Mutiny was around about 1858 when this major railway line built. The British rounded, means within 13-14 years they from Ganga Sagar to Sindhu Sagar they built the magnificent broad gauge railway line that came into existence much earlier, but finally finished when Raichur, the connection link built between GIPR, Great Indian Peninsular Railways, and Madras Railway Company, MRCA, 1817. That means 1871. Remember that. Important point for us is from Velikonda to Kadapa, that is the basin, railway line took advantage, then went to the Kadapa basin area, crossed the Penna, Tirupati, Guti, into Guntakal. This is the uplands of RayalaSeema, enter into Raichur, Dob, Antarvedi, cross the Krishnadevaraya, and pass along the Bhima Valley, Wadi, Kulbaragi, Sholapur, Dond, Petgavan, historic Maratha capital Pune, entered into Mulamutta Valley, Indrayani Valley, crossed Sahyadri Mountains, Lonavala, descended into the Konkan, Salsette Island, Bombay. Highest point was 622 mean sea level. And there are many related ones. So that means that three presidencies, Bengal Presidency, Bombay Presidency, Madras Presidency, were connected by the train. 1870, Bengal, Howrah here, and through Allahabad, and to finally Bombay. Then Bombay to Madras railway line, 1871. That is the fascinating importance from our purpose, like how the railway line was built. This is the railway line, Adoni Raichur, you can see for our part, Tirupati, Velikonda to Kadapa, RAJAMPETA Valley. That is about our fascinating presentation. That is the RAJAMPETA Basin, one of the 23 geographic regions we identify. I will add the other smaller areas later. And Mitravan Bandhuvan, if you like the presentations, please encourage the channel by subscription, recommending it to your friends, and posting your suggestions and comments. See you later in the next presentation. Our next presentation will be Kadapa Basin, the fascinating Kadapa Basin region we'll talk about. Thank you.